late Romanticism. And now I'd like to talk about Goyescas, which I recorded on Steinway, my second album. And here, Goyescas, it is a very, very special piece because it's related to all different arts, the paintings of Francisco Goya, the socio-economic issues and the socio-political issues, the war, and then the rebellions at the time. As well as it has a beautiful story. It was created as a piano suite first, and then later on, it became an opera. And interestingly, it is the last played and composed piece by Enrique Granados. And this is what was going on in Spain at that time. And all these wars and the groups such as Generation 98, they believed that strong nation coming from the strong supports of arts and literature. Enrique Granados, he wrote this Goyescas, meaning Goya-like, because it's an inspiration from Francisco Goya's art, who was 100 years earlier than Granados' time. Subtitled as Los Majos Enamorados, the Gallants in Love, which implies the love story. And here it says etchings of Goya. And he dedicated all these 6 movements to famous artists and pianists at that time, except number 4, Maiden and Nightingale, to his wife. And as we see here in the expression markings, it's not fast, slow, or soft, loud anymore. This indicates the emotions behind the certain movements. So quickly introduce you to the movements: los requebros, the flattery, coloquio en la reja, conversation behind the gate, and fandango, the candle, the candlelight dance, and then the famous Maiden and Nightingale. And we have El Amor y la Muerte, Love and Death, and then epilogue, a ghost plucking the guitar string as disappearing. And I will tell you the storyline that because each movement makes a certain connection to develop a whole story. And now we are going to hear a little bit of the flattery, the opening movement of Goyescas. So there's a personal story that I'd like to share with that how I discovered this piece. I should not say I discovered because it's a very well-known masterpiece. But the first time I went to Spain when I was a teenager, I lost my passport. And that was a summertime, so to wait to get my visa and passport, that took about a month. And as a teenager, there was nothing for me to do, so I ended up going to museum all the time. And at the Prado Museum, I encountered, this magnificent collections of Francisco Goya, and I was very, very much impressed. That just opened up my eyes. And when I came back to the States, I realized that there's piano transcriptions called Goyescas, which is inspired by Francesco Goya's art. And from that moment, I was interested in exploring the connections with one platform of art to another media of arts, literature and music, or music with paintings, or music with, nature, or anything else. So this is a special piece for me to awaken me to be interested in all these connections. And we are going to see all these different nationalistic composers. So nationalistic, we as the composers, artists, they use this nationalistic elements. It could be folk rhythm, it could be a folk dance, it could be any songs, it could be certain, certain habits or language to represent their nations through their art. So now Petrel actually was teacher to Albanese via Granados, and we are seeing all these different composers from the same time as Granados. And then these are the socio-economic pieces depicting the upper and lower class, the class differences, and also men and women. We're looking at Iberia by Albanese, showing different cities and different atmosphere, 4 books of Spain. And San Antonio de la Florida, again in an opera by Albanese, which shares the same librettist of opera Goyescas. And in the bottom, those two are La Vida Breve, A Brave Life, and also the 3-corner hat by fire, representing the social, the relationships between class differences. And here we are looking at different paintings of meaning the middle class man. The etiquette, the attitude also represent their individuality. And here we are seeing Duchess of Alba, who was the wealthiest, and then the highest ranking, the noble lady. And these are the paintings of Alba by Goya. And here you see, she's mimicking, the dresses and etiquette and attitude of middle class, because at the time it was considered as fashionable. There was a brave attitude. And here I'd like to a little bit talk about Francisco Goya. We are now here seeing the 3rd of May, and Disaster of War, and then the Black Painting, and so on. Because Goya's life also went the happiest to most tragic. He became deaf, and then all these wars happening and the rebellions happening in that time. Goya's caprichos, meaning sketches, that inspired Granados to write his Goyescas. And now, these are actually Granados' own sketch from his genre. He said that I'm not just a musician, I'm an artist. So all these actually characters are reflected in opera Goyescas.